Hey everybody, Peter Gantner here, going live today on what is today? Friday morning, 6/11/2021. Excited to be here. Of course, we know the sound is going to pop up here. So I need to close that part there. I need to pull this up. I'm going to need to jump on my phone. Let's see if I have sound. I'm not hearing myself, which is weird. Let's make sure we've got this right. Let me see what's going on with the audio here. All right, I think we're good. I'm watching myself on the Zoom. All right, let me jump on here. And so, anybody, hi guys. Here to actually ask a favor of everybody, but let me get on YouTube first here so I can see who's joined us and watch this. I should get this stuff set up ahead of time, probably, but you get the urge to just jump online and talk about tokens. You just want to get in and get started. I got that turned down. Let me see if I can hear myself. See who's joined. Yeah, there we go. I can hear myself. All right. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Lauren. Great to have you on here. We've got about 5 or 6 other people. So if you're here, say hi in the chat. We're going to talk about some tokens today. We're going to talk about the blockchain. But one of the main reasons why I'm here is ask you guys a favor. We are launching a token on Monday, and I want to launch it on YouTube. If I am not able to get to 1,000 people on our other channel, which is the True Badger token, that's the YouTube channel. We're at about 600 and something people. So we have almost 3,000 people on here. So if I could get a few hundred of you guys to go over and just like and subscribe and follow our True Badger one, I think you'll be excited that you do. I'm actually going to talk a little bit about the blockchain, crypto, and why we ended up launching True Badger. And then we'll look at some tokens, of course, we always do. If you want a token for us to examine or look at, you can always pop it over there in the chat. And we'll look at, I can't look at like hundreds like some of the guys will do. They'll look at token after token after token after token after token because they spend about 30 seconds on it, 45 seconds, pull it up on, on the thing and yay, nay, looks good, whatever. We try to get in a little bit more in depth. Of course, we can't examine a token because usually it takes, hours of research in order to really do a thorough examination. But we don't necessarily have that time. So thanks for there's about 10 people on here. So thank you for coming on. If again, you'd like for me to talk about a token or a subject in the blockchain space or cryptocurrency, you can go ahead and put that in the chat and I would be glad to talk about it. True Badger. That is one we will definitely talk about today. So as I said, we're launching our own token. The token is called True Badger. That is TRUBADGER. True Badger token is a utility. Well, it's a deflationary reflection utility token. It has several utilities. One of those utilities is we have of course, with all the other deflationary reflection tokens, there's always a tax or a fee that's paid on the transactions, whether it is a swap from BNB to True Badger, from True Badger to BNB, or a transfer of True Badger from wallet to wallet. There is a fee that is on there, and that fee gets split up between reflection, which goes back to the token holders, to LP, which is to put a floor on the token to make sure there's liquidity for people to swap back out of it. And then there's also a 1% or a 10% of the 10, so 1% total that goes into what's an innovation fund, which is that allows us to develop projects that will create value for other people, which will then pay us for that value, which will then bring commerce in behind the token, which will cover the data expenses and of course generate profits, revenue for the foundation that we're building and putting in behind True Badger. So True Badger will be set up a lot like the dots and the Ethereums with a foundation, which will be the sole, how can we say it? Stewards of the token, and then the token holders will benefit from that. We're also putting a governance in place It'll take about a little bit to get the foundation in place, but then the governance will come over the next 6 months. I see on a lot of deflationary reflection tokens that people talk about. This is a community driven, and we've what do you call it? We've denounced ownership. There's a couple issues with both of those. First of all, in order to be community driven, when you drive, you make decisions, right? If you're a passenger, you don't necessarily get to make the decisions. You can give, how can you say it? Suggestions. Hey, honey, why don't we turn right up here? But whoever's driving the car is the one that turns right or decides to go to left or whatever it is. Now, as a community, if you're driving a car, it's the majority of that community that would make the decision whether to go left or right. In order to do that, you need to have governance in place. You need to have a way to get the ideas and the concepts. So you can't just do it by feedback, because feedback is, well, I kind of like that. I don't like that. I do like that. You need to have a mechanism in place, and that is a voting mechanism for you to bring issues to the community and then, or token holders, and then have those token holders say, I vote yes on this or I vote no. And then take a mathematical formula that says how those votes are calculated to then come up with a result and then go in that direction. That is a community driven token. So that's on that part of it. And then on the renouncement of ownership, there's an issue with that as well. Once you renounce ownership of a token, then there is no changes that can be made, positive or negative. So I think a lot of people focus on the negative changes that people make, where they go in and it's maybe a supply issue, or whether it's an issuance or the direction of the token or whatever it may be on those sides of it. But there's also a negative that, and we've seen this happen to a lot of tokens. They've actually had to shut down because they renounced ownership and they couldn't make changes. It's like burning LP for providing liquidity. A lot of the projects have done that on Pancake V1, and now it went to V2. They are unable to, because they burned the cake. They can't get access to it anymore. Move it over there. What if they need to move to another exchange? It's locked there. They can't do anything with it. So I think the best way to do that is through a foundation and through rules and regulations, and then the full ownership of it being turned over to that, and then following governance in order to make sure that stuff goes on. Now, here's one of the issues. The only way that works is with a fully doxed team. You cannot, it's very difficult to get to a point where you put governance in place and all that stuff if the people that are behind it are not going to say, hey, this is who I am. Here's my name and here's my information. So with True Badger, we are a fully doxed team. Our LinkedIn profiles are there. We are all a team of people, most of us that have worked together for over 5 years now, over 5 years now. So we've got a cohesive ability to work together. We know each other's weaknesses and strengths. And so that's one of the things that I'm extremely excited about, is that we've worked together in the past and we have thought about the future. So a lot of the deflationary reflection tokens say, all right, 5%, or let's say it's a 10% fee. Half of that's going to go to reflection, half's going to go to LP. Where do they come up with the revenue then to run the day-to-day operations and innovate and create and develop? I know most of us, we go to work without even getting paid, and we show up every day and we do our responsibilities, right? No, it's hard to do work without having compensation for it, right? And owning tokens is not enough of a motivation, guys, because then the only way you can pay your bills is to sell your tokens. So on a day-to-day basis or week-to-week basis, you have less and less tokens, but yet you have to continue to show up and work. So the best way to do this is to take and I know that we're in a decentralized space, but there's a balance between decentralized, the way you function and operate, and then running a traditional organization that has traditional responsibilities, revenue, and that type of stuff. And that's what we're hoping, that we can make those two merge together, where the decisions, the ideas, the data, the information is decentralized, but then there's people that are responsible. And the way you do that is these people right here, they're not in charge. They are obligated to do what is right for the token holders, right? So in a normal company, the owner of the company makes the decision, or the board or the stockholders, and they are responsible to themselves or to other owners in it. in the way that we're going to be setting this up is this group of people that are working every day, that are doing their jobs, they're not responsible necessarily to the CEO who runs it. He's coordinating things, he's putting things together, which is me at this point. But all of us are responsible to the token holders. That is ultimately the boss. Now, one token holder is not the boss. It's the mass of the token holders. And through governance, we'll put those voting things in place in order to say, hey, Peter, you're not doing a good job. We're going to put a vote out. Oh, you're gone. Go find something else to do. Now, it won't be that, hey, the price of the token went down today. Hold on one second. Let me tell Deb something. Hey, Deb, I'm live on YouTube right now.
Oh, again, I did it again.
That's
all
okay.
Right, well, I'll come watch it. Thanks.
Can I call? I'll call you as soon as I'm done, okay?
All right, thanks, Peter.
Thanks. We're in the middle of launching this token, so I didn't want to leave her in case she had an emergency. So that's the reason why I usually don't answer my phone unless it's somebody telling me that I'm muted and they can't hear me. We do things a little differently, I think, than a lot of other entities that are out there, but we just do it the way that we know how to do it and the way that we know how to make it work. So again, I'm going to ask again, if you're on here and you have not went and subscribed on our True Badger channel, please do so. If we can't, we're going to do our token launch here, which I'm okay with, but I would really love to be able to do it on our True Badger channel. And we're at like, I think 616 or 615, something like that this morning when I just looked up right before we started this. Hold on one sec. Hey, buddy, I'm in the middle of doing a YouTube live. Say hi to everybody on YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
This is
you
my
look good out there.
This is my partner, Corey. He's had a few minutes to give me a call back. Buddy, can I call you in a few minutes?
Absolutely. I'll be here.
Thank you, bud. All right. So again, normally I don't answer the phone, but we're in the middle of launch and I need to let these guys know where I'm at and what's going on and what we're doing. They're probably going to be jumping on the YouTube stream here right now. So Deb's probably watching now. Corey's probably watching. But very excited about True Badger we're headed to. So I talked a little bit about utility, and I guess that's probably what we'll mainly talk about here today is True Badger, because I can't be on for too long. We can maybe just do a quick scan over the market at some point here. Hey, Lisa. The utility. So first of all, in all reflection and deflationary tokens, part of the utility is the reflection, so getting tokens back, and part of the utility is the deflation, the burning of the tokens. Those are utility. That's what a token does, right? So all the deflationary reflection tokens are utility. Now you have to look at, is that utility worth getting involved with, and is it enough to drive the value of that, right? So another part of our utility is the 1% innovation fund. 1% of that fee goes back in. We develop projects. Those projects with success should generate value behind the token, right? We build a swap. That swap starts bringing in, let's say, $1 million in positive cash flow a month through crypto, right? So $1 million equivalent in crypto. Then that's revenue that's being made behind the value. It's the value proposition for anything, right? Why is a house worth money? Because you can live in it. The value of that house is you living in it, in a neighborhood, by a school, whatever that may be. So that's the value of what we are putting together. Aaron, hey, Peter. She was saying cameos from Corey and Deb. So, okay. I'm not going to answer the phone anymore, though, but I think, I don't know why my ringer's not. Let me turn the ringer off, actually, too. That way it doesn't disturb us when we're doing it. Okay. So those are the only two I was going to answer the phone for. Okay. Well, it would be my wife, too, but she's upstairs, so we don't have to worry about that one. She'll just call down if she needs me. All right. So let's get back to it. So that is another utility. Another utility for ours is that in order to build a successful token, more token holders, more exposure is good. So part of our utility is that we have a marketing fund. And so we have money that's allocated specifically for marketing. Okay. So those are 4 of the utilities. The 5th utility will be is while we're launching projects, so we launch a swap, we launch whatever it is, you will be able to use your True Badger tokens or a form of it, let's say, in order to do purchases to buy that. So the utility is that you can take your True Badger tokens and not just go and swap them for more, or on an exchange sell them back into USD or whatever you're doing. You will actually be able to use those to purchase something. Another utility of our token is the governance, right? So we will be doing a governance token, but the way those governance tokens will work is by the number of True Badger tokens that you hold in the length of time that you've held them. So that'll be another way that will help. So that's a utility of our token. If you're a token holder, you get to vote on the decision of it. So those are a few of the utilities that we're doing and moving forward with. Hopefully this is making sense to everybody on that side. So I am not somebody who believes in renouncement of a team. I think renouncement of a team is saying we don't want anything to do with it anymore at some point. So we're just going to turn it over and maybe somebody else will take the lead on it. And maybe there's something I don't understand in DeFi, but I do understand commitment. I do understand that in order for a project to be successful, somebody needs to be there and somebody needs to be responsible. And the way to indicate that responsibility is you're getting paid to do it, so you have to do it. And if you don't show up and you don't do it, you don't get paid anymore. So then they're able to find somebody else that will do it. And I don't know, I love volunteer stuff, right? People volunteering at church, people volunteering here, but I don't think it's a way to run a successful organization. Even the churches, if you think about it, they do have volunteers, but they also have staff that are paid to show up. And those are the people that coordinate the volunteers, make sure there's enough volunteers. And if there isn't enough volunteers, then the paid people get the work done, right? That's the way that it works in that responsibility. So another thing too is, does anybody really know the future of blockchain and the technology that's there? So if you launch a token and you lock by renouncing ownership in it, are you not then limiting the potential of it? Because if you have a contract that is governed by the token holders, then those token holders can vote to make a change to that contract that's in their best interest. If you've renounced ownership and you've locked the contract permanently, then there's no changes these people can make. So then you have to do what? A new issuance of a new token and then a replacement. I think leaving that flexibility in there. But again, if you're not going to dox yourself, right? If you're not going to say who you are, there are things that people do. Renouncement of ownership. By the way, the dev team doesn't own any tokens. No way. What's the incentive for them to build? What's the incentive for them to make your token worthwhile? Think about if an owner of a company wasn't getting a paycheck and didn't, because there's no revenue for the company, and had no ownership in it, right? How good of a job are they going to do running that company? There's things that sound good on paper. It's kind of like, I don't know if anybody here has ever lived in an apartment, but at one point in between houses, we got an apartment, me and my wife, and it's like, oh, we'll get this one. It has a swimming pool. We paid more money for it. And then we went to the swimming pool like twice in the whole time period because we were busy and doing stuff. So the swimming pool sounded like a good idea, but in essence, we probably should have got the cheaper place because we never really used it, right? We paid like an extra $100 and something a month for a year for a pool that we used twice. I could have probably bought a jacuzzi for $1,800, $2,000, right? And owned the jacuzzi. So I know that was off subject there, guys, are kind of along that way, but I'll do that from time to time. All right, so let's jump back into True Badger and some of the ideas in blockchain. So a lot of changes coming, right? One of the focuses that we'll do is on microtransactions. So I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this. There's a couple things in the blockchain that it's going to do. First of all, better security. Decentralized, so not a central authority that controls your data. You will have more control over your data. Transaction that will happen. Remember, the blockchain is more than cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is a reflection of the value that the blockchain will provide. So what I mean right there is that right now, speculation is driving price up and down, right? So you've got the fluctuation on speculation. But at some point, the same as with businesses, the stock market, real estate, those type of things, there are fundamentals that come in that determine the value of something. So these tokens will be valued on the speculate on the value that it provides. So Amazon is worth what Amazon is worth because it provides a value, a service. I mentioned this the other day. Amazon comes to our house every single day, saves my wife time. We get better pricing, right? The value it provides. So in turn for that value and getting products, we exchange our money for that value. Simple, right? That same thing is going to take place in the blockchain space, and cryptocurrency is the representation of that value. Just like stock in Amazon is a representation of the value it creates. So the stock has a value because of the value that Amazon creates. Same thing is going to happen in the blockchain space. 2018, huge boom, prices skyrocketing. At that point, I believe I saw and of course, it's from a reputable source, but I believe that time, CryptoKitties, things like that, the top dApps that were out there had like 600-700 people a day, 1,000 people a day using. Well, wait a minute. How could a company be valued at $1 billion market cap, right? Or a token when there's only 800 or 1,000 people using it? It wasn't. It was the speculation on what that would do. Now in CryptoKitties, their value has continued to go up because people love trading and buying whatever they do. And so now there's becoming that underlying value, the utility of the token, the value that it creates for society. Hopefully I'm not boring you guys. Would love to get some feedback on this if this is making sense to the people. We got about 15 people on watching us right now. If this makes sense of what we're talking about, where we're going, because there is a lot of, and there may be differencing opinions on this, right? You might be like, no, Peter, you don't understand. Renouncement of ownership does this value. I can't find the value that it does, except for it gives people that are looking at it going, oh, they renounced ownership, they can't change the contract. But I don't see that as a positive unless the people behind it are con artists and cheats and are going to plan on cheating you, right? If that's the case, then yes, you want them to not be able to change things on you. But then again, does that really give you confidence that they're going to do what they say they're going to do and follow through? Because remember, a token's value has to come from somebody creating something of value that you go to and say, here's what I've created. Please pay me, whether it's in crypto or whether it's in cats, right? Or chickens, whatever it is, right? You have to want to exchange value there. And so it's got to be valuable enough to me. Perfect example of Rolex, right? Rolex is expensive. You can get a cheaper watch. Why do you buy a Rolex? It's the status. It's the quality. It's the dependability. It's the history. Those are all things that are a value proposition with a Rolex watch. Now, you go to somebody like me and it's like, I don't understand 10, 20 grand for a watch, but there are people that brings a lot of value to. And the good thing is we don't get to determine what value is to anyone but ourselves, right? I determine what is valuable to me and what I'm willing to exchange. Other people create products and services. They offer them to me. This is all the same in the blockchain. Right now, it's still say we're on the high side of speculation. What are the possibilities of the blockchain, not necessarily the value that's being created. I don't know what the revenue is right now on people that are providing oracles and transaction fees and all that stuff is, but I think it's on the lower side, right, of what it is, of what it will become. So right now we're looking at projects and going, man, that project has a ton of potential. So we're going to give it the token, a market cap that represents the potential we believe that it will be. That'll change a little bit right now. So higher speculation, not as high as 2018. 2018, 90+% speculation. Now, maybe it's 70, maybe it's 72, 68 or whatever. But that needle is going to keep moving as more and more things. So in 2018, there wasn't Brave. Brave, I believe right now has over 30 million people that are using it as their browser. Okay. Now there's ads that play. Their advertisers pay Brave for getting people to watch their ads. Brave shares that revenue with us through the BAT token, right? Basic attention token. So that was one that was started in 2018 or in that last run up. And now it kept going, and they've built now where they have people that are watching it. So that's the revenue that they generate revenue to run BAT, to continue to provide BAT for me watching it. So an advertiser comes along and says, hey, I want you to advertise. It's 3 cents we're going to give you for each person you get to come to our site or watch our page or watch this video. They give a portion of that back to me for watching it in BAT, and then they keep the rest to operate and function their organization, develop and build. That's real commerce. That's real value. I don't use BAT just because of the fact that I'm getting crypto. I use BAT because I have to see way less ads. I control more of my data. It's creating real value in my life. Those are the crypto projects that are going to absolutely going to be around for a long time. And those are the ones that have the potential to continue to go up in value. But being as with anything else, the .com days, what helped us have the internet that we have today? The boom, the speculation, the fact that companies were able to be overvalued, bring in lots of money, selling off portions of their company, then take that money when the value came back down, be in a position to build and grow. And now today there's real value behind Amazon. Amazon in the beginning selling books online, the initial valuation was probably way more than the value that he was doing at that time in books. He was probably losing money, but yet getting a pretty high valuation. Matter of fact, Amazon lost money for quite some time, but yet the valuation kept going up. Why? Because the possibility of it being in the position where it is today. I don't know if in those days, everybody even thought that one day, AWS, Amazon Web Services, so they would build a network and need so many computers and such sophistication to run their own e-commerce business that they would say, hey, we have some extra capability here. Let's go sell that capability and host other people's sites because we built this tremendous security. Well, now today, I believe one of their most profitable divisions of Amazon is AWS. It's not even the buying and selling of products, which is the majority of their revenue, but a smaller portion of the revenue is much more profitable. And that is driving the price in that from there. But that was an underlying value that they were building, as well as the other projects and the other things that they've done. Whole Foods, being able to go and acquire and expand. So that's our goal with True Badger, guys, is to build real value, produce products that people will say, I'm not buying this product because I bought True Badger on speculation. I'm buying this product because that product is going to provide a value, a service to me that I'm willing to pay for. Hopefully not in chickens, hopefully not in, any other cats, whatever it is that they want to pay us in. Hopefully it's in a currency of some sort, whether it's digital or whether it's real life, US dollars or yen. We don't care, right? As long as it's currency, it could be gold, silver, or maybe we'll take that as payment. But anyway, so I digress. So I'm going to go ahead, guys, and ask one more time. If you're on here and watching, please, if you can go to our True Badger YouTube channel, True Badger Token YouTube channel, and hit the subscribe button. I need to get to 1,000. I'm hoping to get there by Monday morning. We have to get there by actually Sunday morning because it takes 24 hours for you to go live. If not, we'll do our True Badger launch here on our tokenomics. We will be continuing to review other tokens and get involved, even though we have our own token. I believe there's a lot of information that we can share and be with each other. By the way, I didn't start it out right, did I? I completely blew it. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I never want it to be, will never be a financial advisor, and did not grow up wanting to be one either. So this is not financial advice. It is simply to lead you in the direction for you to do your own research. I had mentioned earlier in this that I could spend up to an hour, 30 minutes, an hour, sometimes 2 hours researching coins or tokens before I even make the decision to purchase them, because I want to make sure that they have some type of solid fundamental. Because remember, right now, speculation doesn't always work out. So what you want to make sure is that if you're going to speculate on something, that there is the ability for it to, at some point, to rise to what that speculation is. I'll use Amazon as an example. You bought Amazon stock when they first started, when they were selling books. It had to get to where it was delivering packages to people's houses on a daily basis. It had to get to AWS. That's what the speculation of where it was going. It led to that, and that's what you want to. So that comes down to team, comes down to the concept and the idea. It comes down to, is there something really for them to sell, or is there a way for them to get an audience like Brave? Brave doesn't sell a product. It gets eyeballs on advertising. So it's an advertising model. So there's a lot of that stuff. So let's do this. Let's jump out and let's see how things are going in the crypto space right now. We will go out to CoinMarketCap and check it out. And then I've got to get back to work. Oh, let's look at BAT. Let's see how BAT is doing today. So $1.543 trillion market cap. Looks like we're down about 2.11%. This last month has been pretty rough, right? I know BNB last week had a pretty good run up. It's at about 356. Bitcoin at 36,869. Just a day ago, I think it went back down to 32,000. So there's definitely trying to figure out direction and ways to go. Gas prices earlier today, or this morning, I guess, and it was already today, but it was early in the morning. It was like down to 8 or 9 at one point when I looked, which is good for the Ethereum network. I was beginning to worry about it when gas prices were staying up high. This has got to go down, and it's got to stay down at some point in order for Ethereum to keep its dominance as the number 2 crypto out there, right? Because there are some very low cost, very high functioning blockchains that are coming up in the ranks. ADA, I've been watching a lot about what Charles Hoskins has been talking about. Looks very interesting if they're able to pull off what they're talking about. Extremely low fees, very solid network, fast transaction times. Of course, you have Polkadot, getting ready to start doing their parachains. Kusama's already got those in the works, which is their test net. This is going to be very low fees. I'm already doing a few tokens like PCX and some of those. Very low transaction fees when you're doing it within their network. So this could be hundreds or thousands of pennies in order for these transactions. Of course, you have EOS, Tron. These are low-cost networks. Matic, low-cost networks. And of course, there are others that are coming up through the ranks. Avalanche. So these networks are being built out and they're being put together. So Ethereum needs to get to a point, I believe personally myself, that it goes from a proof of work to a proof of stake, and they need to get this down into the pennies per transaction. They definitely have a lead on everyone else and still have a possibility of being that number 2 slot, but I don't think it's a given at this point. They've got to get this corrected, and they've got to function, I think, a little bit faster. I know they've been talking about, 2, so Ethereum 2.0 for the longest time, and it's taken way longer. That's what I was talking about with True Badger, right? Is you got to get the right governance in place and the right structure, because otherwise blockades are put up because of factions within a token or people that are benefiting in a certain way, and they don't want to give that up. You got to make sure when you put it together that that's not the case, so you can make decisions. So one of the things that's great about startups and early stage stuff is they make decisions really quickly. The bigger a company or an organization gets, the harder it becomes to make decisions quickly. In this space of the cryptocurrency and blockchain, decisions need to be made very quickly. So that's got to go into the thought process of the governance that you put in place and who has the ability to influence the network. And that's where I think I see the weakness of proof of work tokens. And you may disagree with me, and I'd love to have that discussion. I see the weaknesses because in order to mine proof of work, you need a lot of equipment to do it, which means you need a lot of money, which then consolidates it down to the number of people that can participate. If I just make, $500 a week, $1,000 a week at my job, it's hard for me to buy enough equipment to play in the mining space. Now I could be part of another mining organization, and provide some there, but then I'm getting a portion of what's mining, not the entire part of it. So there's give and takes there. And I'm probably not making the decision as providing something to the miner. It's still the miner that controls it and goes from there. But again, those are my opinions, right? All right, let's look right here. Chainlink is down a little bit. We got a lot of red, so which is, possibly a buying opportunity. I don't know about AMP so much. I believe this was one that I looked at back in 2018. Let's go look and see. I think AMP has been around a while. No, not really. It only shows it back to 2020. So I'm going to have to check AMP out because it has been doing very well here in this, I don't want to call it a bearish market, but it's definitely not the bull market that we thought we would have at this point in time. It's got great volume, 24-hour volume. It's way up. It's got a market cap of it. So we are definitely going to have to check out AMP token and see what AMP token's about. Let's click on it real quick and go out to their site. Of course, this is way up right now. I don't know if it's a time to buy. You'd have to make those decisions. Let's talk money into the 21st century. So it looks like it is let's go back here. It is on the Ethereum network. So it doesn't look like at this point it's its own standalone blockchain. Maybe they are going to move in that direction. I don't know. And we'd have to dig in a lot more on that. But AMP provides assets like algo with instant verifiable assurance for any real world application. So we'd have to probably get into the white paper here. Of course, they've got a lot of the top brands here that they're working with. We can see Ethereum and BAT and Doge. So you can stake. AMP is an extensible platform for collateralizing asset transfers. By staking AMP, any form of value exchange can be guaranteed. Digital payments, fiat currency. So it looks like it's some type of a mechanism to help guarantee transactions on there. We'll definitely have to jump into this. So it says stake, send, repeat. Once staked to a partition, AMP is ready to collateralize a transfer with the use of the collateral. Okay, so the AMP token is collateral that helps facilitate the transfer, it looks like. AMP effectively decentralizes the risk of asset transfers, especially suitable from fraud-proof networks and real-world applications. Interesting. So this is kind of like, I guess, guaranteeing that a transaction has the success. We're definitely going to have to look into this more. This is one of these ones where I think you got to read the white paper to get the full extent of how they do it, what they're doing, and then evaluate whether it's something that you believe can happen. There's definitely more to explore. So this is what I'm going to put on the list of tokens, and they've got a lot of people that they're in partnership collaborating with in it. So definitely must have some pretty sophisticated tech. Now, of course, I'm not a technical person. I was actually telling someone today that I can't wait as we build out True Badger and we get the resources for us to hire the smartest, most brilliant computer minds in the world, so we can have the conversations about what's going on in different areas and learn a lot more about this stuff. So we are definitely going to check out AMP. For me right now, though, I don't see AMP as an opportunity to acquire the token at this point, but definitely an opportunity to keep an eye on it and see if there's a correction at some point, maybe a dip. Of course, Childs has been going crazy for a while there, 1.902. They're in the NFT space, working with sports organizations in order to, facilitate them being able to issue NFTs out there. So the NFT spot got hot there. A lot of their tokens were going up. Most of those are depressed right now. It really hasn't been able to grab that traction yet. And here it is, the world's leading blockchain fintech provider for sports and entertainment. So they'll do a lot of licensing. And of course, you can see they have a lot of official partners, right? So the UFC they're working with globally. This is not just in the United States. On a global level, I don't know if anybody else has as many licensed partners with them. So from my understanding of it, they're going to provide NFT promotions, opportunities, the ability for these people to put out their own tokens, different things like that on what they're doing. And I believe that they have a lot of experience and knowledge in the sports space, and they just decided to bring it together and tokenize it. So that's definitely one that you might want to take a look at. Again, it's way up, so I don't think it's a buying opportunity now. But again, these go up, they come back down. What we're looking for, what is what we talked about, long-term value potential to be, to bring value. Of course, Bakery Token, it skyrocketed not too long ago up to like $6-7. It's been down, of course, in the down market. That Engine, another major player in the NFT space now. They've moved into that space. So doing some great stuff. Of course, Decentraland is the leader in online virtual worlds right now with its market cap and what it's doing. It's been around for several years working on this process and getting in there. So that's an interesting. Well, let's click this again and let's go to what the biggest down ones are. So of course, Theta Fuel was running for the last couple of days, went way up. It's back down. You can still see it's up 7.29% on the 7-day average, where most of the rest are pretty much down here. We can click on that real quick. We got AMP, Chills, and then Fuel is number 3 for the last 7 days. So this one's been hot. It's in kind of a correction right now. That might be one you want to take a look at for that reason. So guys, I don't shop very much on this list. This list is the top ones that are gaining, gives me an idea of projects that might be hot, and I'll look into and do it. What I'm looking for personally myself are this part right here. What are the ones that have huge potential that have just been hit by maybe just a sell-off or some odd thing? Normally, though, when I come in here, I'm going to give you guys some, I believe what's great advice is, if BTG goes down a whole bunch, I don't just ape into it. First thing I'm going to do is go out to their social media and see, is there an odd event? I'm going to go to Google and put in the news and put in Bitcoin Gold in news and see if it comes up and says that, somebody ran off with all the money, they got hacked, they have legal issues, whatever it may be that's affecting that token. So that's the first thing you do. If there's nothing there, then it could just simply be a whale decided to sell off, and then that would, to me, begin to indicate that it might be a buying opportunity in that case. So, and of course, then you go look at the all-time high. Was it above its all-time high or at its all-time high and it pulled back? Did it not reach its all-time high? All kinds of things to consider when you're making a decision on whether to buy or not buy. Let's just real quick go out to Spotlight here. I'm going to wrap it up here, guys, because I need to get some stuff done for what we're doing. Oh, my goodness. Guys, I'm not sharing my screen again. Oh, I should have looked over about 20 minutes ago, huh? I'm sitting here going crazy, talking like crazy. I got to get somebody to help me just stand here and be a part of that. So, all right, guys, I'll go real quick, show you guys where I was at. So of course, here's the market cap of the whole thing right now. Here's the gas prices right over here where I was talking about, guys. And I'll show you this real quick. This is where I go. So you see this 24 in the 7-day, you click here, and what it's going to do is organize it in the top gainer for that. And of course, I went through AMP. I'll have to pull it up later. You guys at least heard what it was. In Chills, I pulled up the site for that. I'm sitting here going through all these sites, pulling the stuff, and you couldn't see it. So now, if you click on it once, it's going to give you the top 24. If you want to see the best gainers in the last 7 days, click on it. And of course, it's going to go to negative first, but then it's going to go to the positive. So in the last 7 days, it's AMP, Chills, and Theta Fuel. Theta Fuel, though, if you go over here and click again, you'll see is one of the top down in the last 24 hours, even though it's one of the top 3. So this is where you can start coordinating things together and decide if something's a buy or a possible buy opportunity, or if it's a sell opportunity in that sense. So another thing too I like to do is, like, I'm going to go out and find out, why did AMP go up 85% when you start looking at this, right? In the last 7 days. This is amazing, guys. There is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tokens that are in the plus over the last 7 days. 85% for AMP, only 19.66% for chills, and then you go to 9, and then 2, and then 1. So why is this one over 4 times what the nearest one is up in value? Did they launch a main net? What happened? What is driving this value? A lot of times that can give you some indication on if it's, reached the top now and is going to have a pullback. Again, I don't think this is a buy opportunity at this point, but I haven't done enough research to even know that. And I don't give financial advice. I'm just talking about for myself personally. All right, but there's a lot down. And of course, if you click on it again, it's going to give you the highest ones down. Now, for me, these are the ones that are potentially to get into. Why? Because they're down a lot. So as long as I don't go in and as long as I don't go in and just ape in, right? Just jump into them and I go do the research. This is where I was talking about going out to YouTube, going out to, Google News, going on their Twitter page. I've looked at these and then bought and then found out that they were hacked. And that's the reason why they had big drops. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're not coming back, but it means that, there's a possibility. So you do want to see if there's any anomalies in the news or anything that's making this happen, or is it just, one person started to sell and there was a panic, the value's still there, and it's just going to return back to where it is, which we see that happen all the time, right, in this marketplace. So, all right, guys, well, I am going to say thank you for joining me. I'm going to ask one more time. I know for the people that have been on here the whole time, you're going to be like, you already said that, but if you could do me a favor, please go over to True Badger Token on YouTube, and please subscribe, like it. If you can invite some friends to do it, if you can ask somebody to do it for us. We're trying to get to 1,000 by Sunday morning in order for us to do our launch on our YouTube channel. If not, we'll probably do it on this channel or maybe through Telegram or something like that. But I think we want to do it on YouTube. So anyway, if you guys could do that, that would be greatly appreciated. I want to thank you for being here today. Hopefully you learned something today. Hopefully I was able to help you. If you have anything you'd like for us to discuss, you can put it in the chat, or anytime if you have a token or a coin that you'd like for us to look at. I always like to get feedback from you guys because maybe you found that gem that we don't know about yet. And through you suggesting it, we can take a look at it and then make a decision on whether we would like to get involved with it. So anyway, guys, have a great day. Thank you for joining us. I'm looking forward to Monday. I will do a video on True Badger. So that'll be posted hopefully by Sunday, which I'll go through the project. It's kind of great. I get to do a review on my own token. You might want to wait for another YouTuber though, because I am biased. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to have to be biased because I know the owner intimately, and I know the whole team that's working on it. So I will be a little bit biased, but I'll try to give you an understanding of what it is. And then we'll let the other YouTubers judge and give you their opinions. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. We look forward to doing many, many more of these and continuing to learn and grow together in the blockchain and cryptocurrency. Have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.